So today we're going to look at inverse trig functions. We'll start by graphing the cosine function. The cosine function starts at what point? Yeah, beautiful, 0, 1. And what's the period?
2 pi.
2 pi. So at 2 pi, we'll be at 1 again. And at negative 2 pi, we'll be at 1 again. And so on. In between those two maximum points, right in the middle, there'll be a minimum point, yeah. So we can put those points on the graph as well. And then in between the maxes and the mins, we have zeros. So you should be able to draw the curve pretty accurately after you put these points on the graph. Remember, it should look like a nice, smooth wave. Something like this. Okay, so that's our cosine function. The equation we should write down. Okay, the equation is y equals cos x. You want to write the equation down. The question below says, is the cosine function 1 to 1, many to 1, or 1 to many? So which is the correct answer and why?
It's 1 to 1. I think
Many to 1.
Many to 1.
What is it many to 1?
Well,
For, like,
think.
y value, there's many x values. Like,
Okay.
y
Many
value
x
1,
values
there's lots of
is
x
one
values.
For one what?
Many x value is 1 value.
Let's draw a horizontal line through.
With this,
Okay.
with this y value.
So here's a horizontal line running
Oh,
through.
never mind.
The horizontal line is crossing the curve many times. And that's telling us that, in this case, I've chosen the y value of 1/2, right? See that it's 1/2?
Yes.
So there are many x values that have that one y value. So it's many to 1. So we have many x values corresponding to only one y value. So this is still a function though, right?
Yeah.
Any vertical line will touch the curve only in one place. So here's a typical vertical line. It only touches once. So this is a function. Y equals cos x is a function. Is the inverse of this going to be a function if we replace x and y and flip the curve across the diagonal line y equals x?
No.
It won't be a function. The fact that it's many, that the original function is many to 1 means the inverse will be 1 to many, which is a non-function. So no, period. It will be 1 to many. And if it's 1 to many, that means it has many y values corresponding to one x value. That's not a function. Well, let's come down here and graph that non-function. So how do we graph that non-function? Just switch the coordinates in your head. So think about switching. So instead of 0, 1 as the beginning point, we'd have 1, 0. That would be here on the x-axis. Because well, it's actually not a rotation, it's a reflection. It looks, at first it looks like it's a rotation, but it's actually not a rotation. It's a reflection. So just be careful with the words you choose. Using the period of 2 pi, now it's a vertical period instead of a horizontal period. And we have our values that wiggle back and forth like this. So here's the graph. The equation of this curve is found by switching x and y